You are not allowed to refuse to get physical with your spouse. And look, I do not have to get my wife's permission to get physical with her.
Hey, so that's actually crazy to say. This rhetoric is so dangerous, and I've heard it in many churches that women are not allowed to say no to their husbands. You do not sign away your body the second you get married. You are allowed to say no. And men, why would you want to force somebody to be with you who doesn't want to be with you? But what if she does say no? Do you respect her no? Or do you think that you are owed her body and you take it anyway? Which I'm pretty sure there is a word for that. When I was in an abusive relationship with a very religious man, I picked up this book called The Power of a Praying Wife because I was trying to do anything to fix my marriage. And I want to read you guys a little bit about what she says if you are not in the mood and your husband wants to be with you. When your husband communicates to you what he has in mind, as only a husband can do, don't roll your eyes or sigh deeply. Instead, say, "Give me 15 minutes." During that time, do something to make you feel more attractive. While you are doing this, pray to God that he would give you renewed energy, strength, vitality, and a good attitude. Hopefully, when you're ready, your husband will find that you were worth the wait. He'll be happier and you will both sleep better. This is a small investment of time to see great rewards in your marriage. So if you are not in the mood, hype yourself up. Do it. I hate to admit that I took this advice, and after my husband would be physically abusive and I didn't want him to touch me because he would call me horrible, horrible names, I thought that he was still owed my body, which he was not. You can say no.
I am no fan of the pastor in Jubilee's video. In fact, I would not consider him a Christian because of his twisting of scripture. To use the scriptures to justify mistreating women, even abusing a woman, is downright sinful. I guess he never read where Paul writes to the Ephesians, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for her, so that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, that he might present to himself the church in all her glory, having no spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she would be holy and blameless. So husbands ought also to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his own wife loves himself, for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ also does the church, because we are members of his body. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery is great, but I am speaking with reference to Christ and the church. Nevertheless, each individual among you also is to love his own wife, even as himself, and the wife must see to it that she respects her husband. Also, Peter writes, "You husbands, in the same way, live with your wives in an understanding way, as with a weaker vessel, since she is a woman, and show her honor as a fellow heir of the grace of life, so that your prayers will not be hindered." In Tying the Knot by Rob Green, he writes, "First, husbands are to live with their wives in an understanding way, according to knowledge." God commands husbands to pay particular attention to their wives. He goes on to say husbands need to relate to their wives emotionally, and both should give each other their undivided attention. Most of all, husbands ought to honor their wives, even if they are not in the mood to make love. Men are not superior to women, and women are not superior to men. Women have a right to share their advice with their husbands, just as much as the husband has a right to share his advice with their wives. Let's make this perfectly clear. If a husband is being abusive in any way, even if it is physical, the woman has a right to escape that situation. She can run to the church and or law enforcement if necessary for their own safety. If the church is not assisting in any way, even disregarding the woman's allegations as false, then finding a new church is necessary. A chauvinistic church is not a healthy church. What is even more tragic about this video is the male bashing in Jubilee's followers' comments. To hold all men in the same arena as Jason Anderson or any chauvinistic man is a negative stereotype. To hold all Christians and real biblical churches in the same corner as the abusive churches she and her followers have experienced is just as sinful as those who mistreated them. Not all men are like Jason Anderson, nor are they like Bethel's Spiritual School of Ministry or any church that takes purity to a level it should not go. And for any man who calls himself a Christian to blame how a woman dresses for making him stumble is highly ignorant and irresponsible. I can share with the world the mistreatment I endured from the women I was involved with, even the mothers of my children. But I don't put all women in that same arena as the women who did me wrong. Why? Because all women are not the same. Each woman has their own behaviors and choices they are accountable for. If a woman mistreats a man or hurts a man, does not mean the next woman will. The same goes for men. All men have their own behaviors and choices they are accountable for, but that does not mean the next man will be like the previous man who hurt you. Again, I cannot fathom how a man can mistreat a woman like what these women have been through. Obviously, they are hurting and angry from their treatment, but that is not real biblical Christianity. To Jubilee, I admire what you do. I am also very sorry you and other women experienced what you have. I really mean that. But not every church holds to the unbiblical ideals as Jason Anderson or Bethel or any church or so-called Christian that stands on mistreating women and using the Bible to justify it. I know the churches I have been part of would never tolerate such things, but also men and women who read the Bible without properly studying it fail to understand the importance of context, especially when it comes to issues on relationships, marriage, and roles of husband and wives. Please, I encourage you in the heart of hearts to hear the plea of a Christian who loves the Lord and is blessed to have an amazing wife I honor and respect. We aren't perfect. We do have our moments, but we don't use the scriptures as a weapon to hurt the other or to dehumanize each other. Such things are unbiblical. We know how to walk away and come back and talk, even if it means seeking forgiveness. I always ask for forgiveness when my wife calls me out. I am grateful to the couple who mentored us to be the best we can be for each other. As for this book, I encourage every couple and those getting married to read this book. It's a great book. Jubilee, I will personally send you this book with the hope you will see that not all Christians and churches do what you have been through. I know I have watched your videos, and you deserve to be heard. But let's be real and expose those who are wolves in sheep's clothing instead of thinking all are wolves in sheep's clothing. I hope this helps. God bless.